Brother Andre is very special to the congregation of Holy Cross because out of all the people in our congregation, God raised up this poor, very uneducated man to be our first saint, to be a model of holiness and obedience. When he first entered the congregation was of such poor health that they weren't sure what job he could do, and so they assigned him to be a doorkeeper. Brother Andre liked to say, they showed me the door and I stayed there for 40 years. And so it was as a doorkeeper that he came into contact with so many people at this school, including the poor and the sick, and that's where his reputation as a healer got started. More and more people started coming to him, and his advice was always the same. He told them to pray, especially to St. Joseph. He had a very strong devotion to St. Joseph, and he told other people to pray to St. Joseph as well. And so his reputation started to build, and so more and more people started to flock to the school to the point where it actually became very disruptive to the school, and they got him a spot at a trolley station where he could start seeing people. Now, as time passed and he became the founder of the oratory, he would spend days in the oratory with lines of sick people just lined up to see him each and every day. Now, the congregation of Holy Cross professes that the cross of Christ is our only hope. And Brother Andre lived that every day because all the lines of people that came to see him every day at the oratory, were poor and sick and in a lot of cases desperate. He was their last resort. And so he saw the cross every day. I mean, we look around the congregation of Holy Cross and we see so many educated and dynamic people, and yet God chose to raise up as our first saint this man who was very uneducated, who was very poor and didn't seem like much in the world's eyes. But because Brother Andre was willing to accept God's mission, he didn't go and seek out this ministry of healing. It literally came to his doorstep. But since he was obedient to the will of Christ and willing to see the face of Christ in these people, then God was able to make great things happen through this very simple man. And that's a model for all of us to follow. Saints for Catholics have two primary functions. First of all, they're role models of the Christian life. They're people that God raises up in every place and every time and circumstance to show us how to follow him better. So by seeing the example of the saints, we understand a little bit better how to live our lives as Christians. And then secondly, they also serve as intercessors. We ask for their prayers. That doesn't mean that they pray instead of us, but we ask for their prayers because we know that they're good and holy people and that they're in heaven with God. And so we count on their prayers to help us.